Now that we're making objects, we are using both primitive and reference variables. There's some important ways that they behave differently that we really need to understand. Let's start with an example using primitive variables. This code has two int variables named first and second. It gives the first the value 32, and then uses an assignment to put whatever is in first into second. If we print them out at that point, they have the same value. If you look at the memory diagram, there's no relationship between them. The machine has forgotten that the value in second came from first. If we then change the value in second, that change has no impact on first. If we print them out now, they have different values.
So, with primitive variables, copying one into another with an assignment statement does not connect the variables in any way at all.
Now let's do something similar with reference variables. For this example, suppose we've created a class named SimpleClass that has one instance variable named InstanceVariable and a getter and a setter for that variable.
Go back and play the description of that class again. You should be able to get a vision of what that code looks like.
Now, our example variables, first and second, are SimpleClass variables. Since SimpleClass is a class, the compiler just allocates enough space for a reference for each. Then we create a SimpleClass object and store a reference to it into first. By calling the setter, we store 32 into its instance variable. Then we use an assignment statement to copy first into second. Notice what just happened. It copied the value in first, which is a reference. That means that second now points at the same object at which first points.
It did not create a copy of the object. It copied the reference.
To print out the values, we use the getter, and our output looks like this. Now we use the setter to change the value in second's object to 14. When we use the getters to get the values for both first and second and print them out again, notice that changing the value for one of them has also changed the value for the other. When we use an assignment statement to copy a variable's value, it copies the value in the area that the compiler allocated at the declaration of the variable. So, for primitive types, it's copying the value in the variable, and the variables don't end up connected in any way. But for reference variables, it's copying the reference, so the two variables end up pointing at the same object. Now they are connected. When one changes that object, the other sees those changes.